It's that time again when we bring to you the Gorgeous Woman Show live from CTN TV, Nairobi, Kenya. And it's always a joy to host some wonderful women. We call them gorgeous because they've been through pain, heartbreak, recovery from so many traumas. And they are seated here every Sunday just to share what the Lord has done for them. And if you're there, you're a gorgeous woman. Your story can inspire somebody, empower somebody, and encourage somebody that is going through a tough period. So I would encourage you that you can reach out to us on 0728-316-317, and there will be somebody waiting to receive your call and organize how you can be part of this program. I'm so honored to have my guest, Doreen Gasheri, and you're most welcome, my guest. Your story is one of a kind. I don't want to delve into that right now, but just tell us in a brief who is Doreen.
Okay, thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
My name is Doreen Gacheri. I come from Meru. I love Jesus.
Amen.
All that makes me alive.
Amen.
I love Jesus very much. He's been faithful.
Amen.
Over every side of the journey. I come from a family of 4 kids. I am the second born. We are 3 girls and 1 boy. I am a mother of 1. She's 14 years old. Her name is Princess Celine Wendwa. We are awaiting our KCPE next week.
Great.
And by the grace of God, I was born again in 2016, July. I didn't plan to get born again. It was not
Ilikupata tu.
I went for a kesha.
Yeah.
And my sister had invited me for the kesha, so I showed up.
So you had that sister who is always reminding you of your sinful life.
Yes.
That is a good sister.
She's the best.
Yeah.
So I believe she has just left me in the hands of God.
Yeah.
So ikafika time she had joined Crippled Fellowship.
Yes.
That's where I am. That's where fellowship. So she invited me for a kesha, and I had to show up so that my sister would stop bugging me. And I didn't know that was the day God had planned for me to get born.
Wow.
It's so much of a coincidence. The man of God of the house, who is my spiritual father, is Presbyter Cato Lafont.
Yes.
And my spiritual mother is Pastor Joan Mulani Lafont, both at Crippled Fellowship. So that day he was not my spiritual father then. He was just a pastor by that time. I had gone to his church. So in the middle of the crowd, he picks me up. Vile pastor ushuka kwa madhabahu saa 6 sasa ya usiku. Then in the middle of the crowd I am seated somewhere huko ndani.
Umejificha?
Nimejificha. Mimi niko shughuli zangu. Then he's like, you in that blonde hair, red hair.
Okay.
I had shaved my hair.
The hair was red. Okay, I now understand.
I had shaved my hair and then it was blonde.
Yeah.
So he's like, you come. Mimi naangalia tu kando, anaita nani? Then he's like, you there next to that pillar, the one in that brown jacket. So he got specific on the kind of jacket I was wearing. So I was like, me, yes, come. So me, I went to the altar. One thing with me, I am never afraid of crowds or anything. So I just walked. Then he's like, why did you come? I came because I was invited. And what do you want? Then I started giving him stories of what I wanted. I want a job. I want stability in life. I want so many issues in my life sorted out. Then he looks at me and is like, one thing for sure, the devil that allowed you to come here today will live to regret for the rest of his life, because you will cause havoc wherever he is. You will cause him a lot of pain. So me, I am like,
for the devil, me, the devil who allowed me, it didn't make sense.
I am okay the way I am.
Yeah.
So why are you telling me about the devil? Then he's like, because from today, you will be a new person. So me nikamwangalia. Okay. I had to say okay because there was nothing much I would say. And that is how I had to get born again. Because I was so much overpowered by the Spirit of God, I wouldn't stop crying. And
oh, wow. So
after he stopped talking to me, I started crying. And I wouldn't stop crying.
Wow.
So that conviction had to work inside of me. So for me to stop crying, I had to say the sinner's prayer. I had to accept Jesus Christ as my personal Savior.
We'll just take a break and then we'll be back, our viewers, as we listen to this wonderful story. that is now the her. You need to hear the other part so that you know why this encounter had so much meaning in Gasheri's life. See you after the break. So welcome back. My guest is Doreen, and she's here to tell us about her story, overcoming alcoholism, you know, recovery from an accident, and being just a mother, all that journey. So now you're so excited about your spiritual encounter because were it not for that, the person we are seeing here, you said you could be dead.
Yes.
So tell us more about how you were raised. Were you raised up in church? Or just how was your upbringing?
I was raised in a church setup. I was a good girl, church girl. Never missed Sunday school, never missed any practice that was there, never missed the in a Methodist. I was raised up in a Methodist setup. Yeah. So with Methodist churches, they normally even have competitions for Sunday school, the youth, the men and the women. So I was the key girl in the church.
Ah, so you were the celeb in the church.
I was the celeb in the church. Yeah. They want a memory verse, I school point for them. They want shairi, I am there. If they want us to dance, like I was very active in church in my childhood and all of my primary school life. I went to a boarding school in class 5 and still there was also a platform to serve God in primary school. That time I didn't know there's so much service unto God. I was doing what I was brought up knowing in primary
because
school.
It was fun.
Yeah, and then it was also fun. Now you're part here, you're given the privilege to lead songs, lead people in church. So you're like...
Yeah, there are people who are born for the stage.
Yes, kabisa. So that was my life in primary school. I went to a primary school called Kejai Circuit Boarding. That's why I did my KCP in 2000. Though from 1, I went to Gekomene Girls High School. It's in Meru. My first year in high school was the good girl thing. No much drama, nothing much. I was in the same high school with my elder sister. So there was that part of, my sister is here. So she already knows the way, so I follow. And then I also had a cousin in Form 4, so I was covered. But at the same time, I had issues coming from my boarding school life. Matters, rejection, matters fighting to fit in, being recognized and everything. This came up from a setup of going to the same school with my cousins. You know, in a family setup, you will always find there's a family where some are up, others are down. Yes. So I came from the place where we are down. We are down. So going to the same primary school with my cousins who are coming from the upper side was not easy at all, because they always rubbed it on the face. They would always rub it. Unknowingly or knowingly, they would always rub it and try to show you that you do not fit in. You do not fit in. You do not qualify. Because it was hard. It was literally hard. When you have visiting days and things that their mothers bring them from, where they're coming from and what your mother has brought, you're like, I want that life.
I know.
I want that life. I would love to be that one.
And that is so prevalent in boarding schools.
Yes. Yeah. So I now went to high school with the same struggle. So in high school, I wanted to fit in, not in my sister's squad, not in my cousin's squad, but now fit in my own way. And it landed me into a lot of trouble because I went for the first suspension in Form 2. Yes.
How did you earn it?
I had 2 friends. We were in there were 3 streams in our class. I was Form 2A, B and C. So I was in Form 2A. And I had a friend in Form 2A and I also had another friend in Form 2B. So the one in Form 2B had a misunderstanding with the one in Form 2A. They were both my friends. But I stood for the one in Form 2B without taking time to hear who has the problem. And then I fought the one in Form 2A.
Ukiulizia your friend.
Nikiulizia my friend. So I was fighting my friend for my friend.
Wow.
That's how I earned my first suspension. And after that suspension, many came. There was always something I have done, something I have not done. We are told not
because you remained in the same school.
Yes, I remained in the same school.
So you were labeled like this is a rebel.
Yes, I was a rebel. And then my sister is a captain. So you can imagine your sister is a captain and you're the one that is leading the rebels.
And then kuchapana, that was on another level.
Yes. Nilipigana nilikuwa Form 2. And then
how bad was it?
I can't say it was that bad because she also tried to fight back. So we had a good fight, a good exchange of blows before. before the teacher came in. And then she was taller. So she was taller, I am short. So imagine you're hitting a taller person and she's hitting down on you.
And how did you become victimized?
By the end of the day, I'm the one that attacked.
Okay.
I am the one that attacked. She was calm until I attacked.
Okay.
Then, the way, of course, everyone took it because I was the aggressive one, then I was the wrong one, which is true, I was the wrong one, because I would have done it amicably.
So how long were you out of school?
2 weeks.
Okay, so you go home.
Yes, I went home.
And you came back with
I
your
came
parents.
back with my parents, with my mother, to be precise.
That was the case.
Mimi nimechapwa mpaka shule in high school by the teachers. Kwa sababu ya kukua tu kichwa ngumu, like I never took that part of stop doing this, it's not right. So all the anger, the bitterness, the resentment.
And you feel like it happened when you went to boarding school when you were young. You felt like you didn't fit in.
Yes.
And you were angry.
Very angry. You know, before going to boarding school, you're always at home. Yeah. Of course, you get to see those scenarios in the compound with your grandmother and your cousins and everything, but it never strikes you as hard.
Because you have the support system of you, especially your mom.
Yes, because now you're at home, no one is. And then they are not there for long. But now here it's a boarding school. You get to be with them for 3 months. There's no mid-term.
Wow.
You're sharing the same dormitory. The only time you get visitors is when parents come for a visiting day, which is once a term, in the middle of the term. Wow. So most of the times you are together. And then you know there's that part of, you know, your parents are struggling to make it in life. You also would love to have a good life. And then these ones are trying to show you that
your life is
you don't amount to anything.
I know.
So you start getting angry. And then when you just look at things at home, you start having those questions of why me? Why did this have to happen?
Yeah, you even tend to even hate your home.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a hard one.
So how many times were you suspended?
In high school. And I remember they are not less than 4. They are not less than 4.
And they were all fighting scenarios?
No, there is that for fighting. Some other times I would put on a short skirt, short tight skirts. It's against the school rules. It's life. Other times
it was an all-girls school.
Yes.
So never short skirt.
Evo too. So like I was a drama club girl, music festivals, law club. Like I used to work in clubs that would always take me out.
Yeah.
And now I was always the lead. So you lead by example, by all means. And then it's attributed in these schools, these clubs will always carry the bad girls.
Yeah.
I don't know of now, but in our time, most of the drama club girls, ni wale
who were just different.
Yes, they were just different in their own way. And they were hard-headed, all of them. So there is this one, I applied, I had very long hair, very long, beautiful, natural hair. And because blowout had come out, I shaved. Then I applied blowout. Then I was sent again out of school. The teacher...
You were applying blowout in school? Okay.
Si munanunua tu mna sneak in alafu munapaka.
I know.
So I shaved my long hair, applied blowout. Then the principal shaved my head with a razor blade and then sent me home. That was, I believe, the last time I had a suspension. The other one that was much badly off, I ate school fees, and it was not a nice one.
Okay.
Yes.
How did you consume school fees?
I was given money to go and pay my school fees. It was 8,000. 8,000 of the 2,210 was a lot of money.
Yes.
So mimi sikulipa fee.
What did you do?
Sinikaeka tu pesa kwa mfuko. So I went with my money. I did stuff of my own.
What did you buy?
I bought, one thing I remember, I bought books. But ask me where those books went, I do not know.
Because so you were trying to be a good girl.
I was trying to be a good girl in a bad way. Because there's this man who came to sell revision books in school. I remember that day. I have money. Why will I not buy revision books and I want to pass my exams? I was in Form 4.
And you've not paid school fees?
I had not paid school fees. So at the back of my mind, I bought books and a camera. My reason for buying a camera was I would take photos and earn the 8,000 back. Then I pay my school fees.
Hey.
I had a plan at the back of my hand. Yes,
okay.
I had a plan at the back of my mind. I'll buy a camera and the textbooks. So I will use the books to revise. Then during my free time, I'll take photos because people would always steal in and take photos in the school compound. I will take photos, earn back my 8,000. I had not calculated how long it should take me to earn the 8,000 back. All I knew is that I will earn it back and pay before it is discovered. Then what? The principal discovers I have not paid fees. they went to the same primary school with my mother. So she calls. And my mother is like, I give that girl 8,000. Then she has not paid. So my mother showed up. It was an afternoon beating of the principal, my mother, and the deputy principal in the office from around 2 to around 4 p.m.
Wow.
Yes. You know, the principal was angry because she has been covering up for
your mom,
my mom, because they're friends, and we would delay being paid school fees for. Now you are here. You've been given 8,000. You know your parents are struggling, and then you ate. For what?
Did you remove the camera? Did you show it up?
It was taken by the school, so I never had it back. I never had the camera back. The books, I even didn't get a chance to read them because after that I was also sent out of school for quite some time.
After the beating?
Yes.
So how was the journey back?
To school?
Home.
I didn't go to my mother's home. My mother left me in school. Then the principal sent me out of school. So I didn't go home. I went to my auntie's place.
And that time you were swollen everywhere?
Yes, I was very swollen. Everywhere I was swollen. You would look at me and you would see this girl has had it. Because I remember someone who was in the next classroom was saying, our teacher was, our chemistry teacher was saying, whoever is being beaten in that office, we don't know how she'll come out of it. So I went to my auntie's place. She lives in Makuyu. I stayed there for the 2 weeks. Then the day of going back to school, we went to...
So what did you tell her?
Me, I told her the truth. I ate school fees, but I bought books and a camera. Not that I ate it with my mouth. I just bought books and a camera. And my problem was I am being accused. I didn't see I was wrong. They're accusing me of eating school fees, but I just bought revision books and a camera. So she stayed with me. Of course, she knew I was wrong, but where would she send me to?
But an auntie will always be an auntie.
So she allowed me to stay at hers. Then they spoke with my mother over the phone. And then when time to go to school was there, we met in town, Meru town, with my mother. We were not talking. And then she took me to school.
Was your dad part of your life?
I will say, I don't know how to describe that, but let me say my father is alive.
Okay.
Yes, let me say he's alive.
Okay.
Yes. So, majorly it has been our mom all along.
Yeah.
Our mom all along. But he's still alive, and we are working out our relationships.
That's okay.
With the fear of the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how my high school life was generally. Because now after that, there was no other suspension, no other beating.
So you learned your lesson?
I learned my lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
It also affected me a hard way because I failed my exams. It was towards KCSE, so there was no time to recover anything.
And nobody talked to you about it, like you were not heard?
Nobody. In our generation where I come from, those things, deal with them.
When
When deal with them. Life moves on.
Yeah.
Yes. So I cleared high school in 2004, and now my life started after high school. So I didn't go to college immediately. I took some time at home. So in the process of being at home and trying to figure out life, it's not like I was not given options. I was given an option to go back to high school so that I can redo my exams. They believed I was able to pass. Yeah. Yes, but I refused. I said I'm not going back to school.
Of course, your track record
doesn't even allow
to be envied.
Yes. So I said, no, I don't want to go back to school. Do you want for us to get to... I have an auntie who was proposing to take me to the prisons college, like I become a prison warden. I said, no, I am not going. So there is nothing that was being offered on the table that I took.
So you were just angry?
I was just angry, and I just wanted to figure out life for myself. So in the process of figuring out life for myself, I was employed as a house help twice by 2 sisters. Never turned out well, until I landed a job in doing promotions for Safaricom. Ni ya kudance kwa lori. It's not like it was a decent job where you go to a shop or something. Nah. Yeah,
life had to be fun for you.
Yes, it had to be. I had to make something out of it.
Yeah.
So I was always on a lorry. Either in Kisumu, Nyahururu, Naivasha, or somewhere, dancing and putting on, dressing men with t-shirts, wakiwin, and dancing with them.
I remember those promotions, they were very energetic.
Very. Now I was that part of that team. And now that's how I got into a colleague-friend relationship. And with a lot of naivety in me, because I was still not wayward. I was angry and everything, but I didn't. I always had a dream. I had always set my life at a specific angle. I wanted this and this and this and this and this. But by that time, nothing had happened that I wanted. So in the friend relationship and everything, I got pregnant. Yes. So you're 21, you are pregnant, you do not have a man by your side. Because this man, when I told him I am pregnant, the only thing he told me was like, unataka nini?
Hey, and with that big question, you already understand that the story has a dramatic turn. See you after the break. Wow, so the guy tells you that unataka nini?
So I remember I confirmed I'm pregnant in Mwea. We were still on a duty roll. There is a specific sweet I loved, the particle sweets, the white ones. So I went and bought the sweet. Then after taking the sweet in my mouth, I vomited. So I was like, this is very much abnormal for me. Then a colleague of mine was like, are you sure you're not pregnant? I am like, how would I be pregnant? Where?
You don't know how it comes in.
Yes, how did I get pregnant? How can I be pregnant? You do not know what you're talking about. Then she's like, to confirm, tuende hospital. So I go, and the doctor is like, you're very much pregnant. Like, there is no one who can deny that you're pregnant. So with that anger and the
How old were you then?
21 years old.
Like in the pregnancy was at what, how many weeks?
Around 3 weeks. It was around 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I go out and I find the guy, he's busy working. And kuja. And I'm like, this and this and this and this. We are pregnant. We are having a baby. And the only reaction I get from the man is like, unataka nini? So mimi nilimwangalia nikamuuliza, unaniuliza mimi nataka nini? Nimekupatia siku 3. If you will not have said anything within those 3 days, don't appear. And he took the easy way out. He never appeared.
And he got away with it.
He didn't appear, nothing.
So did you continue with your promotion work?
Yes, I continued with the work. It's my pregnancy was not that one which lays someone down. I was super active to the last day. So after he denied everything, we still have to work together because our boss does not know there is a rift of a pregnancy going on. So we still have to get together. I remember after leaving Moya, we were sent to Naivasha for 2 weeks. And it was I and him alone. And we had to work, we had to deliver. So you can imagine you're not seeing eye to eye. You have issues with this man and you have to work with him. So I kept on.
And he was not even apologetic?
Nah. Usialiniuliza nataka nini? And I gave him an ultimatum and he chose the easy way out. So it means he didn't want a baby. He didn't want anything to do with me. Life is okay. He was having fun. I was caught up in the middle of the fun.
Wow.
So accepting the baby was also another big problem. Because I denied my pregnancy for 7 months. If you can imagine a mother denying a baby for 7 months and it's in the womb. And when everyone asks if you're pregnant, I would be like, no. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm not pregnant. I am okay. Until I had to be tricked to a hospital by my elder sister. So she told me to take her to the hospital. So while we were there, she's like, she also had to go some tests. While I am also waiting for mine. You can also, it didn't click in my head. They wanted to confirm if I am pregnant.
Because it didn't show.
I had a bigger body than this one. So it was hard for anyone to see I am pregnant. Then with a bigger body and the way I used to dress, nobody would ever, because I was always in a trouser and a t-shirt. So nobody would ever see that my belly is protruding enough. Only people that are sensitive enough to say this is, this is a baby bump, yes. Yeah. So I went for the test unknowingly. And it's like she had spoken to the doctor because the doctor was very specific on the test that he would take on. And now the results, you know, and
there's always a smarter sister in the family.
There's always a smarter sister in the family. And mine got me. Because when my results were read, she's the one that went to pick. Then the results are, you are pregnant. That time I had stopped doing the promotion job So we were living with my sister in the same house in Meru. She was a teacher. She had finished school, graduated, and now was teaching in a private school. So life had started again. They've discovered I am pregnant. Everybody is asking, why didn't you say? Why didn't you say mapema? Why didn't you communicate? Why didn't you say anything? And I am like, msinisumbue. I never wanted anyone to ask me so many questions. Again, I'll say God has always been merciful to me, even when I was very wayward. The minute my pregnancy was confirmed, I got a job. Wow. In the very same school my sister was teaching. I will just go, and in the evening while waiting for her, the pupils were practicing a song for CU. They used to go to a church outside school. So they were training. So I'm like, siningi huku nisaidia watoto kuimba. So I taught them a song. And it came out nicely. Then they went to church on Sunday and presented the song. The director of the school was like, watoto walifundishwa na nani wimbo? Then he was told it's me. Out of that is like, kuja ufundishange class 3.
Wow.
Ndio ufundishange watoto nyimbo za kwenda kanisa Sunday. So that's how I became a CU patron again. With my baby in the womb. 7 months to 9 months, it's only 2 months. Then at least by that time, the pay was enough to do pre-shopping for the baby. Wow. And everything. So I had my baby in 2008, July. And I will say my younger sister calls her a community baby. Reason being, just like her name, everybody loves her.
Wow.
Like she came and everybody accepted her.
She was the first baby in the family.
She was the first grandchild and the baby in the family.
Yeah.
So everybody is always like, mwendwa hii, mwendwa that, mwendwa. She does not know the part of not being loved.
Yeah.
The kind of love that I never gave her when she was in the womb, she came out and she received it.
Wow.
So after having my baby now, you know, frustrations will come from there. No, because you are a mother, you're expected to own up to do several things, and nothing is working. And that's how I decided to go back to college.
Oh.
Yes. So going to college in 2009, I went to Kabete Technical Training Institute. I did a cooperative management certificate course. The first day I landed in school, I met a girl. We were in the same hostel, just the two of us. I reported to school on a Friday. So by virtue of being in the same hostel...
And now this time your baby is like how old?
A year. I went to college, because I went to college around September.
Okay.
So she turned a year in July, and so I had August, and then I went to school.
You left her with your mom?
I left her with my mom, and I went to college. So in college, the first girl I meet on reporting to school is one that has been born and brought up in Nairobi. So she knows...
Mtoto wa Meru.
Na mimi ni mtoto wa Meru, nimetoka Ushago. The only lifestyle I know is ile ya kawaida ya Ushago. I do not know much na ya kanisa. Yes, I have fell once or twice, but I still wanted my life to be in order. And we spent the first night in the hostel, and then the following day she goes out. Then she comes and she's like, you've been here the whole weekend alone. Come, I introduce you to my friends so that even when I go, you'll not get bored. Then she introduces me to the Adias. And these Adias knew their way around. So that's how I became a drunk. Because now, these are the only people you're relating to. Their only lifestyle is, if not in class, it's in a bar. And the only lady friend you have does the very same kind of lifestyle. So you always have to flock together. You always have to.
So that is when you took your first drink?
No, I will not say it's the first time I took my first drink. The first time I took alcohol was in high school. It was a sachet. It was zinaitwa Sapphire or something like that. So a friend gave me, but I didn't like it. So I didn't continue with it. Then still after high school, there were people in the village, the ones that drink and you get along with. They would always give me a beer or so, but I would always be like, apana, I don't want. So my drinking journey started very well when I went to college. Far away from Meru, no one is bothering me.
Nobody knows you.
Nobody knows me. No curfew, no nothing. It is me. And nobody cares if I am a mother or not.
Yeah.
Life has to continue. So I started drinking tu ile kidogo kidogo. My main beer type that time was keg. Inaitangwa Senator ya vikombe. He's laughing. That's what I was taught.
Why? Also because they were on a little budget.
Yes, it's a little budget. So that's what they used to drink, and that is what they taught me to drink. And I took it up nicely.
Okay.
So tukaendelea. And I became worse, more than all of them. I normally say, coming from a family where drinking is in a pattern, is in the pattern of the people that are not born again, it was not hard for the alcohol to blend with my blood.
Yeah.
So nilienda tu kwenda.
So you were doing that every evening after class?
Every evening after class. During the day, didn't have to be in the evening.
Wow.
There are no classes, you have nothing you're doing, you have your 200, I have my 100, hizo ni jug kadhaa. You go, you take a straw, you put it in the same jug, you sip.
Ati? A jug?
Yes.
With
It's
200?
a plastic jug. Inaekwa katikati, and then there's straws.
Wow.
Now you all drink at her.
So you didn't even need much?
No, we didn't need a lot. We didn't want a lot of money. With 300 shillings, 500 shillings, back then, that was a lot of money for keg to drink. So you would go and drink and get drunk. So pole pole, I got used to it. I got used to it. Until even when the Dadias left, now I started recruiting people.
Okay, the people to go, the company for
yes,
keg.
Yes, the company for keg. And now I started knowing there is beer. I started knowing there is whiskey. I started knowing there is vodka. So I would always choose in between. And of course, I will say, just like in the kingdom of God, even in the kingdom of darkness, you keep on graduating. You don't remain constant.
Wow.
So if you started at this stage, you will learn something new. And when you learn something new, you indulge yourself in it, you will get knowledge for more. So I started with keg. Keg introduced me to a bottle of beer. From a bottle of beer, I came to understand kuna makali.
Wow.
So with this makali, I get to choose between the whiskey, the vodka, the brand, everything. So you get to choose which one flows with you. And you know that one also changes with the company.
Yeah.
Because I can't keep on going out with students who can only afford keg.
Oh, yeah.
So I also learned to stay with men for money.
Wow.
And for a bottle of beer, depending.
So at this time, are you still going to class?
I never missed classes, and if I missed classes, I had to be out of Nairobi, because I also became an outside Nairobi celebrity.
Tell me more. So now when you go to class and you're drunk, nobody ever noted your waywardness?
No, the teachers were never concerned about how you came into class. Them is you attended lessons and you do not miss exams. Because we had exams too. We had stage exams that would always determine if you're going to the next level. And I knew my main exam is NEC. I remember there is this one day, one of the teachers, she was teaching us financial accounting. Kuja class, she was reprimanding people that had failed the exams. I had not failed. And then she's like, Nyinyi, fuateni Dorinto. She always passes her exams. You're always failing. And you're following her. So it was well known in the school.
So it was not a secret?
It was not a secret.
So this time, are you thinking about your baby or?
Nah. She was at the back of my mind. I was not thinking about anyone at home or anything. I was just focusing on me, having fun, living my life, forgetting my troubles, making money.
Okay, so now you became an outside celebrity.
Yes.
Tell us more. Out of town.
Yes, I was. We would wake up in the morning in the hostel, and I tell my hostel mates, "Mi naenda Mombasa." When they're like, "Kufanya," I have a date. Sometimes I would do blind dates. They've not started now. They started a long time ago. I would go meet someone I have never met.
How? The devil is alive.
Yes, and all
you
that.
are not even afraid of the risks.
Now is when I sit down and I reflect at the things I did, and I am like, ukweli Mungu ulikuwa unanipenda na bado unanipenda. Because things I used to do, I would wake up in the morning, go to Kisumu, stay with a man in Kisumu for a week, and then instead of going back to Nairobi, I transit from Kisumu to Kisii. I go spend another week
So
there.
you meet another one?
Yes.
Yeah.
What
and they were willing to go with you?
Of course, I will not go to a man who has not invited me, because he has to pay my transport. He has to take care of me, and he has to give me money by the time I go back to Nairobi, so that by the time I am done eating this money, I will have figured something out to help me move on with life. So it was not normal for me to ask my parents for money. And them, ilifika mahali, they would not ask me where I'm getting the money from. And now you see I am in Nairobi most of the times. I only go home for 1 month. This 1 month I am a good girl.
You were not drinking?
No, I am at home, I am not drinking. When I am...
You were able to deal with the addiction
Yes, when in college. That time, I will not say that time I was so much addicted. I loved alcohol. But with time, it got into my system. So I would just go home for 1 month, stay at home. 1 month, go back to school, pick up my life from where I left it. Again, like that. Some other times, I would close school, go to my cousin's place, stay for 2 weeks, then I go to Meru for 2 weeks. So it was hard for them to tell the kind of lifestyle I had in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Until I finished college in 2012. And I have to pack and go back to Meru. Ushago, they are not meant to go out with. Ushago, there is a curfew. You have to be home. Ushago, you have to own up to your motherly duties.
Yeah.
And it was hard. Very hard for me. Because what my parents expect me to do and what I really want to do are two very different things. So we ended up in a fight. A good one. I received a beating from my father and my mother in front of my child, who knew my mother is being beaten. She's looking on and she knows anachapo, vizuri. So I remember that day after that beating, I told my younger sister, if this is what being a black sheep in a family is, then I agree I am one. But I want to make it right. I will leave you guys so that you can have all the peace that you want in the world.
Wow. We'll take a break and hear the rest of the story.
So I woke up the following day in the morning and I prepared my daughter to take her to school.
Right now she's about how old?
Right, that time she was, do I even remember how old she was?
Yeah.
But she was past 5 years old because
Okay.
she had gone to a private primary school. My mother had enrolled her, so she was paying the fees. So you can imagine your parent is paying for your school fees and
Also, kichwa
for
ngumu.
your child. Na bado when kichwa ngumu, you don't care.
Yeah.
So I prepared her and then I packed some clothes. So I took her to school and then I left. I went to a friend's place, stayed for some time. And the first destination I did on my running away was Machakos. I always had a friend somewhere who would not mind hosting me for some time as long as we will club and party and live life. As far as the definition of our life that time was concerned. So I stayed in Machakos for quite some time. Then I left Machakos and I came back to Nairobi and was hosted by the same people I was with in college and I had left. They were in the hostels. So I moved in and stayed in the hostels again for some time.
Oh.
Yes, with them. It was not a good life, but I just didn't want to go back home. Until a friend referred me somewhere and I got a job. On getting a job, still in my journey of going up and down, I had met a man who was willing to rent a house for me. So he rented a house for me in some place called Kasarani, Maji Mazuri, a single room. He paid the rent and the deposit. So I had my own house. So
Furniture?
I only needed a mattress and and blanket and some utensils here and there.
Yeah.
So those ones we figured out. So I would always go Calavant, do my thing, go back to my house. So that's how I got a job in 2013 in February. It was a data entry job. When I got that job, I was ile patia, hii maisha ya ushago. Nimeinawa vizuri. Walinifanya nikatoroka nyumbani. Now I have my life. They will not see me again. So I'm still in that part.
Bitter.
I am still bitter. Then I didn't work for the month to end. One day, a friend from home, Meru, calls. He's like, I am coming to Nairobi and I need a place to crash in. Let me send you some money. You go book for me a hotel room. I'll be arriving late with my bosses. Then I'll look for you. You show me where you got the house. Then I'll sleep there. I'm like, it's okay. How much are you sending? The houses normally go at 3,000. Nikamwambia, no, I'm not taking 3,000. Send me 4,000. He sent me 4,000. But did I go get him a house? No. Nilikuwa mfanya kazi town. After 5 o'clock, I clocked out. I went to Yakiwe. I was used to drinking up or Yakiwe, where I got it all. So I went to a famous joint that I loved that time. And I started drinking. Kama kawaida, it's nothing. At the back of my mind, I know I am supposed to get this man a room. I remember even that day I talked to my sister, and I am like, nitakutumia pesa kesho. I had some money on me, so I was telling her, I'll send you some money tomorrow. Right now I am having fun, let me have fun. My family now had gotten used to the drinking me. So I'm like, let me have my fun, I'll send you some money tomorrow. She was in campus then. But things didn't go as I had planned. So in the bar, there was a DJ friend. Alikuwa ameishi kunisumbua, and me, I was always like, nah, you and me can't work. So that day he comes on, and he's like, you're just looking down upon me because you think I can't afford you, you think I can't afford your drinks and everything. So we had an argument. I got angry. After getting angry, I took everything that I had and I walked out. So he came following me. It's past 12 a.m. in the night.
Wow.
And I live in Kasarani, and I am on Waiakiri. So while crossing the road, I saw a Nissan. It was more of a vehicle. It was coming. But at the back of my mind, I don't want this man to get to me. So I crossed. But I didn't make to cross the road. The car got to me and hit. What I am told is that he wanted to run over. But the very same guy that was running after me, the one I was running away from, was like, no, I know this lady. Just don't do that to her. So they went to Kabete police station, reported, and that's how they dumped me in Kenyatta National Hospital, the emergency unit. Then I woke up the following day at around 10, 11. So me naamka niko ile part ya, whose bed is this? Because this is not my bed. This is not how my bed normally is. And then I started seeing people, the people that were around me. So I started seeing, these are more of nurses, the way they were dressed. This looks like an hospital. Then one of the nurses comes and she's like, haya, umeamka? Kwani ni gani ulikuwa umekunywa jana? So me, I am like, kwani, what's happening? Why are you asking me that question? You don't know where you are? No. Then she called the doctor. So the doctor came and is like, hi, can you see me? Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Look around. Whom do you see? What are you seeing? Me, I am seeing I'm in a hospital, and I'm not supposed to be in a hospital. The me came out again, the angry me. I am not supposed to be in this hospital. I don't know what I am doing. I am supposed to be at work. Then he's like, madam, you were brought here yesterday, having been knocked by a car, and you're in Kenyatta National Hospital. And I would like you to do something for me. Do you feel your hands? Yes. Do you feel your legs? So I started lifting my legs, and he's like, no, stop lifting your legs. So he hit my bare back of the leg with a rod, and then he would ask if I am feeling whatever he's doing. So I told him yes. So he's like, at least you can feel the rod. Mpelekeni huko awekwe plaster, mpeleke kwa ward. So it hit me. I have broken legs. I am in a hospital. I am not working again. Nothing is happening. Then I am like, how long have I been here? The lady said, you have been here since you were brought. So we had to make you wake up. So we were waiting for you to either wake up or not wake up. By God's grace, umeamka. Again, that's another thing I normally say. That's another way God showed me how much He loves me, and He had a purpose over my life. So I went to the ward. Fast forwarding, I called a friend at home, and I'm like, mi sina miguu, literally like that. Mi sina miguu, ambia watu mimi sina miguu, niko Kenyatta, niko kwa ward. And my mother now had to camp.
No, tell me now, is your mother aware where you went because you ran away? Did you reconcile?
We didn't reconcile. We just spoke over the phone. I told my sister, tell them I am in Nairobi. When I got a job, of course, I had to brag.
Oh yeah.
I had to brag to them. Hata kama mulinifanyia kenye mulinifanyia, I am okay now. I have a job. So she didn't know of my whereabouts. She didn't know where I lived. Nobody ever knew where I lived. The only thing they know is that they knew that time was I had a job and was working in town. Nothing more.
So your mom came to take care of you?
She had to. She's the best mother in the world.
I know.
Yeah. So she came. And my sister also in campus, left campus, came in Nairobi. By that time also my elder sister's son got sick. So she was also transferred from Ukambani, where they were living with the husband, came to Kenyatta. So you can imagine the whole family was convened in Kenyatta National Hospital wards. But for me, the doctors always had a story to tell. This one will come and say, first of all, I was under oxygen for a week or so because I was not able to breathe. My bones, this bone was broken. The clavicle bone was broken, so it affected my breathing system. So I had to be under oxygen for some time. Then when I was able to breathe on my own, I was removed from oxygen. But there was nothing else they were doing. I was only on painkillers. Then today a doctor will come for review and is like, hizi miguu zinahitaji chuma.
Hey.
The other one will come and is like, hizi miguu moja inahitaji kukatwa. So there was always a story. Then I stayed for 3 months with the same story. So one day the doctor comes for review kama kawaida. Before he asks me a question, I am like, sir, I want a discharge. I am not staying here any longer. There's nothing you guys are doing for me.
3 months. Now you lost the job, you lost the house.
Nothing. I have nothing. Then the house, I am told the landlord, your time nilikuwa nimeanza kujipanga panga. So everything was taken by the landlord. So there is nothing I am looking up to. Then I have plasters from my hips down. So I can't sit down, I can't do anything on my own. Then I've been confined on this bed for 3 months. Nothing is happening. So I asked for a discharge. They were like, no, you can't. I don't know. Give me a clinic, we shall come. But here I am not staying. So that's how I was discharged in Kenyatta.
Even the bill itself is going high.
And now you know people are straining, and then you hear there's nothing that's happening. Then I had sores on one side, on the left side of my behind had a lot of sores. So you can imagine you have sores, they are paining. I had not gone for a long cough for that long time. It was also stressing me up. And I am lying on a bed. So I asked them for a discharge and we went home. And home was the hardest part because I was receiving visitors.
Hey!
And these visitors were not coming because wanakuja kusema pole. They were coming to confirm the dead beat me. Because they would speak and I would hear. Huyu ni kiwete tu ameletewa hapa, hakuna kitu kingine hata wife. Huyu hata akitolewa hizo plaster, huyu ni wheelchair tu. I remember there's a friend of mine who came and he took his time to examine my body. Then vile amemaliza akaniuliza, na mbona watu wanakuua huko nje? So I'm like, why are you talking like that? Out there people are saying you are a dying person, like your bones are out. There is no, like the you we used to know and the you that is on a bed, hakuna. Those are two different people. Actually, when he said those words, I looked at him and I told him, his name is Thomas. So I told him, let me tell you one thing. I will get out of this bed and I will walk. And those people that said I will not walk will see me in heels marching in front of them. So they laughed. Because of course you're looking at the person who's saying they will walk.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
And the way you're looking at them, nothing is happening. So to heal my sores, my parents looked for a doctor. Akakuja akaanza kunitreatia nyumbani. The sores took like 2 weeks to at least ease pain and stop removing pus. Yes. And then now with the long haul thing, they also had to seek another doctor who had to practically remove it from inside me. So
even your tummy had serious issues.
Yes, it had serious issues. I was
and
eating.
You're still eating?
Yes, I was eating, but there's nothing.
And
so
Kenyatta, they wouldn't do that?
Kenyatta walininunulia dawa, walinipea dawa hapo, but they were not working. They didn't do anything beyond that. So that doctor, when he came, he's a theatre nurse. So he said there are 2 options. Either he removes it manually or either go surgery. So we opted for the manual way and...
Ooh. Yes. Wow. That was a journey.
Yeah.
No wonder the Bible says the wages of sin is death. But here you are. The Lord healed you and you're walking.
Yes.
So how long did it take you until you now say, Jesus, I'm done?
After the history of going at home, by the grace of God again, I got a donor. Wachuma for both legs. And I was operated on by 2 surgeons at the same time. One was the then senior orthopedic surgeon of East African region. No, not East African, Eastern region, the Embu, Meru and Nyeri parts. and the other one was a senior doctor of Nanyuki District Hospital. Those are the ones, out of a consultation, they said they'll fix my legs, and they gave me my legs back. Then after that, I underwent physiotherapy for quite some time in a private facility. Then I went home. But when I went home, I went back to my lifestyle.
After the legs were healed?
Yes, not even practically healed. Like, at least I can walk on crutches or a walking frame. I would hold parties at home when nobody is around. I would call my friends, wanakuja na pombe, we drink. And as long as I make sure there is food in the house. So by the time my parents get to the house, there is food. The house is clean. But somebody told my mother. So one day she just came in time. And she realized I was drunk because I was drinking of alcohol. It didn't go down well. We still had another argument. But still, it never got to my senses that I have to change my way of life. I remember there's a pastor from home who came to visit. And while talking, he's like, God wants you for himself. Mimi nikamjibu nikamwambia, my friend, I am okay. You guys, wacheni kujisumbua na vitu zenye hazina maana. Sumbukeni na hao watu wengine. Me, I am fine the way I am. But he didn't argue. He left it at that. So fast forwarding, it was a norm for me. Even after healing, I would go out, drink, come back, have an argument, go out, drink, come, have an argument. But that time I never left home. Until it also came again another time. I was tired and I came back to Nairobi. And I started a business of vending chips. That time there were a lot of wrangles in Nairobi. So GSU was always released in Nairobi to fight and everything. So I was hosted by a friend in Umoja. And I am doing business again on Wayakiwe. I don't know what Wayakiwe ever did to me. So one day I am alighting a matatu and then I see GSU all over town. That day is when I decided to go back to the village. Because I imagined now if GSU decided
all you needed was a GSU officer.
I needed a GSU officer because I imagined now if anything happened when I'm around town, I can't run because I was freshly healing. I can't run. I do not know anywhere I can hide. And then they land on me.
Yeah, and they beat you up.
And they beat me up. What will remain of me? So I decided to go back to the village again. There I went and I started a business, still for vending chips and samosas and everything, but I never gave it attention. I was always, nauza kidogo, naenda. Nauza kidogo, natoka naenda. I was always on trip. Sometimes I would close the shop for a week and go out with some guy somewhere and spend some time, and then I come back and life continues. So I believe it had also come to a place where my parents were like,
leave her alone.
Wacha nini na yeye afanye Kenya nataka. So somebody again connects me to a job in Daystar at the river to manage a hostel. And I went. The job was okay. That is early 2016. That's how I started now working. Then after I had gotten settled and life was okay, that time I was drinking beer, I was chewing mirror, I was smoking bang, and I was smoking cigarettes. And I was using tobacco. So I had a mix of everything around me. And then, you know, in Daystar, most of the students are used to that kind of lifestyle. Then, I don't know about now. So I got to merge with them. It's an hostel I am managing. So I am the one that's taking care of them. And they also take care of me with the drinks and everything. Until I lost that job. And I went back to square zero again. That's how I agreed to go to the Kesha that my sister had invited.
So you had hit rock bottom.
Yes. After I had hit rock bottom, there's no job I am keeping. There is no hope left anywhere. Again, I am being hosted again. So for how long will I get being hosted? Then it hit me. My child is growing up. And she does not even see me. And if she hears me, she has to hear the ill things about me because there's nothing good she can bring on the table about a mother.
So when you got born again, what has changed now?
Wow. I will say I look at life very differently.
Okay.
Right now. There are some things I never believed I would ever stop doing. If you ever told me I would stop drinking, I would told you are a big liar. If you ever told me I would stop sleeping with men, I would tell you are another big liar. one thing that made me believe I am born again was the very day I got born again in the Kesha and I went home to the friend who had hosted me. I found out that she had bought me a 5-liter Cellar cask of wine. So we meet at her door. I am coming in, she's going out, and then she's like, Kashe, ndo hiyo nimekununulia. When you wake up, you just enjoy yourself. I'll come join you later in the evening. Believe you me, I never saw that wine until a week later when she asked me of it. She's like, kwani ulinimalizia? Nini? The wine that I told you, where is it? Iko hapo karibu na bagi yako. So, and then she's like, enda uangalia kama uamini. So me, I went. Just exactly where my bag of clothes was placed is where the wine box was.
But you couldn't find it.
I had never seen it until that day. And nilibeba nikawapelekea, niko ile, hii ndio unasemea? She's like, wacha kunibeba ubaya, wacha kunibeba hivyo unanibeba. You had not seen this thing? No, I had not seen it. And even if I saw it, I would not have drank it. That's the first day I believed, really, God wanted me for himself.
Wow, what a testimony. Yes. Wow, I wish you'd have continued on and on. This testimony is just so inspiring that receiving Jesus can bring turnaround. For Doreen, this has worked for her. And we pray that if you're going through such a crisis, that you don't give up, look for help. From us and the production team is bye-bye. God bless you.